whole world came crashing down at 19. I was going out all the time, I was partying, sort of became a secret for a long time. I was just kind of aimless. Hello to all of my honey hustlers of the world. I am Simone Donice, and this is hopefully going to be the first of many sip and chats. So if you will just stay with me, I will explain definitely exactly where I've been on this basically 3-year hiatus and what YouTube is going to look like in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and put my hair up because I wanted to do just kind of like a get ready for bed with me. I've got a couple of like my face routine products that I'm excited to do with you guys and basically getting ready for bed. It is 10:10 on the dot. Look at that synchronicity. But I'm just excited to be back in front of the camera and not only explain where I've been, but just like the growth and the journey that I've been on. So I'm gonna put my hair up real quick and then let's get to it. Okay, so now that we've got our hair all cute and up, I am going to start by just kind of wetting my face a little bit, and I have just like a little measuring glass cup water right here that I'm using. Before we even start anything, our sip and chat, this is our drink. This is basically like my chocolate monkey Kahlua and milk. Just kidding, this is chocolate milk because I am a child at heart. No, but it is coconut water, basically like chocolate milk powder, and then I put a splash of almond milk creamer in here because I'm 29 and I just didn't feel like drinking one glass and having a hangover in the morning. So it's actually really good. It literally just tastes like chocolate. It's like a mixture of like chocolate milk and chocolate like coconut water. The coconut water I used was just the 16-ounce Real Cocoa brand that you get from like Costco. So I'm gonna wet my face. I'm gonna start with my soap, which is, I'm going to be using Tatcha Rice Polish Classic soap. I have been on a 3-year hiatus, y'all. I had to basically just kind of go through a dark valley of just curing my depression. I became a mom. I have a daughter now, which was unexpected, but obviously one of the best blessings. Like, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I have grown up so much, literally from the top, and I feel like they say like motherhood does that to you, but even before, like, you know, COVID hit and everything, and I was just a mess. And it's tough for me to say that because, you know, I'm one of those girls who make it seem like I basically like have everything, and not to say like posting it on social media or anything, but like the outside world of my life looks like amazing. Like, you would be like, and I did for a long time, be like, why are you even complaining? You have a family, you have like an amazing husband, you know, even as a kid growing up with divorced parents who got remarried, like, I could have had a way worse life. I was one of those people who kind of had it all. Like, it was all put together for me, it was all pieced together, and I was just not happy. And when I first started YouTube, like, YouTube was kind of like my rebellious out, if you will, if that makes sense. My whole world came crashing down at 19. At 19, I had a miscarriage with a guy who I thought I was gonna marry and be with forever. And that sort of became a secret for a long time because I grew up in a pretty, not strict household, I'll say, but like religious based foundation. Like, I grew up learning about like my Hebrew Jewish roots, you know, betrothals and arranged marriages, matchmaking, you know, staying a virgin till you were married. Things like that were looked at as really glorious, and if you didn't follow those things, like, you were shamed. So my miscarriage and, you know, having sex before marriage came with a lot of shame. You know, to this day, do I wish in a way that I had still held off, you know, because of all I went through for my husband that I have now? Yeah, absolutely. There are some times where I'm like, I probably could have made it to marriage to be a virgin. I think that ultimately kind of, that secret kind of had me inward, like spiraling. I left one synagogue that, you know, the synagogue that I kind of, the church, I guess, that I kind of grew up in. I went to another church of like the same kind of qualities and things, and basically kind of got backstabbed by them, and then was kind of left on my own, and then that spiraled, and then I moved home because I just felt like I had nowhere to go but home. And so I moved home and essentially started YouTube and started working Postmates. You know, I was going out all the time, I was partying, you know, basically like doing the whole hustle thing where I go out and, you know, do Postmates, make enough just to pay my mom a little rent because that's what she expected, and then go out and party and then repeat. I was just kind of aimless, and then it just kind of carried on, and I couldn't figure out like why I was so just destroyed inside. Whew. All right, so let's take a sippy sip of our drink. And I'm going to now go in with my Dr. Dennis Gross. This is the Exfoliate and Smooth. So the step one, that's just essentially, I feel like it's helping me kind of balance out my skin. I bought like a ton of stuff from Sephora that I am wanting to try out, and I'm gonna do an on-camera haul for you guys. Like literally bought about $4 grand for the stuff. My husband is currently got the credit card scaries basically. So fast forward a little bit, and I left YouTube. It was like the one thing, you know, we had hit 2020, or like the end of 2019 basically had a hit, and I was not doing so well. I was pregnant and didn't know it. The whole year of like 2019, I'd wanted to get pregnant, and Robbie wasn't essentially like, he wasn't telling me no. We were just having conversations and talking through, you know, if we did have a kid, like what that would look like, how our lives would be different, being mature adults. And when I didn't get pregnant all throughout 2019, I assumed that I was kind of in a spot to have pregnancy issues, basically. Like you know, my mom, it took her about 5 years to have me, and about 6 years to have my, you know, 6 years after to have my sister. And so I was like, maybe I'm just, you know, not completely fertile. And then end of 2019, you know, early 2020, I found out I was pregnant. And so it was at that point that I knew that I needed to take a step back. Essentially, the whole thing to that was like, I was failing at YouTube. Like, it just wasn't growing. I had hit like 1,850, which is amazing, you know, 1,850 subscribers, and thank you to all of you who have still stayed subscribed and haven't left. But I had hit like 1,850 and then just hit a plateau. Like, I just wasn't going up, and I couldn't figure out why. You know, my YouTube channel was the one thing that I had essentially made the mistake of tying my identity to, because, you know, when I first started it, I was like, I'm a rebel, I'm rebellious, like I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna make it to prove people wrong. It wasn't the right attitude to go into that with, and I think that came back to bite me in the ass a little bit later, because it's hard to keep up with a rebel story, to just essentially be misunderstood. I had a little girl inside that was just traumatized and really hurt by the outside world at a really young age. Woo. And I kind of carried that. And so while my current life was moving up and I was getting married and I was creating these happier moments and everything, the one thing YouTube, which I had tied this sort of story and identity to, of like, I'm gonna make it, and it was like the one thing in my life that I just almost needed to succeed at, just to prove to myself and validate myself that I can do it. I can make it in this life. So this might be a trigger alert for some people. It's not meant to be. This is just my side of the story, and I'm still here. So I want you to take that more as a positive. But by the age of 20, like, I seriously considered ending my life. And I was really, really struggling internally, and it didn't look like it, but I was, like, very badly. When I left YouTube, I essentially had to backtrack, rewrite a different story. I left this old beat up, broken Simone in the past with it, you know, but I didn't need to stay there. I needed to appreciate what I could manifest and what was going on in my outer world and be happy with that and understand and be thankful for that. If you haven't in a little bit, you need to be grateful and say thank you for the undetected protection that you have around you. It's a beautiful thing because I'm here and I'm alive. I'm happy to say that I'm happy. All right, so I'm gonna go in with this Dr. Jart from Sephora, the 10 plus mask must-haves, and I'm going to, I think I kind of want to do the collagen, like the firming one. So this is what the pouch looks like, and now I'm just going to rub that all over my skin. So I'm about to just apply this mask. Okay, now I am supposed to do the intense care with this mask. Oh no, guys. Girl, child. Girl, we all know. It's cooling though. The crazy thing is, when I truly stopped and answered those questions and looked deep inside myself and kind of visualized going back and sitting in my old bedroom where kind of one of my first traumas really happened, and sitting with the little girl, the little Simone, really visualizing like myself reacting to what I'm saying in a positive and delightful way. It was like everything became 100 times more clear. You know, and leaving the scene, ooh, I'm not gonna cry, but like leaving the scene where I walked out of my bedroom and I waved goodbye to my little self. It sounds weird, but it works, I promise. It worked for me at least. And, you know, kind of telling that little girl, like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna be amazing too. Not that rebellious, like, we're gonna f some shit up, you know what I mean? We're gonna do some amazing stuff. That in itself is success. That in itself is bigger than a YouTube channel being successful. You know, it took me a minute to really find why, you know, I was where I was internally. So apparently, no matter how many settings you put in place, these Sony cameras can still internally overheat a little bit and turn themselves off to cool down. So that's what happened. My camera got a little too hot, so it turned itself off, which essentially tells me I've also been talking a little too much. So Jim Carrey said it best, but essentially he was talking about depression and depression in people.
People talk about depression all the time. The difference between depression and sadness is just, you know, from happenstance. Whatever happened or didn't happen for you, or, you know, grief or whatever it is. And depression is your body saying, you, I don't want to be this character anymore. I don't want to hold up this avatar that you've created in the world. It's too much for me.
And basically how if you're depressed, it's your soul's way of trying to tell you that it's tired of acting out this old story. That really hit home for me. My soul was so tired of living this rebel story, this survivor story, this I survived and you can't take that shit away from me, you know, type of vibe. You know, once I did watch that video, like it just kind of clicked, like it did bring me back to YouTube, and YouTube is something that I do want to succeed at and, you know, hope to succeed at and pray to succeed at. You know, what does, you know, success with YouTube look like for me? And it's just helping other people feel good about themselves. You know, you guys, giving you guys a place and a sense of family, even when it feels like you don't have one. That's what this YouTube channel is going to start with. The foundation is just being a beautiful, helping, entertaining, you know, joyous light to this world. And I'm so excited to get started. Leave me a comment below if this resonated with you or any of this video you liked. Please feel free to share some of your, you know, success and breakthrough stories down below, because like I said, this is a family and I do want to make sure that everybody feels invited, warm, and welcomed into this channel. But I have come out of my depression, come out of my hiatus, come out of my shell. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna end the video here because this mask is literally starting to slide off my face. Ew. Can you guys hear that? I thank you guys so much for listening to my rant. Hopefully this was a little bit different than all the other like where have I been sort of hiatus like videos, because I didn't, as depressing as it was, I didn't want it to be too depressing. Like I wanted to actually be like, this is what I did to pull myself out of this rut. Girl, not the lace. Ooh, it's time to go to bed, y'all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Leave me a comment below if you did. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Support this channel if you would like. It would mean so freaking much to me. And we'll see you next time.